we want some posters for the windows of all of English 1. So 4 times 5, so,
COVID Beard was clearly struggling. 20, I offered.
Right, 20 posters.
Like, I'm not trying to be mean. Like, are you dumb?
Do you think
She's dumb.
Hello, friends, and welcome back to ReddX, your source for the freshest daily cringe content anywhere on the internet. Promise swearsies, it's just a fact, and it's totally science. Go ahead, look it up. Thanks so much. It's Monday, and you know what that means. Back to school, back to school. Tell the teacher I'm not a fool. Yes, it's Beardschool. Keep your arms and legs inside the tram, and let's get the show on the road. School Beards, Chapter 30, Beards, Incels, and Nice Guys. Oh my. Where are they all coming from? How do we staunch the flow? Welcome one and all to another cringe-filled episode of School of Beards. I'm your lovely author Emerald. Please sit back, relax, and take in this tale that is my life. Yes, indeed, quite so. Although, to be honest, I hope you all know that you only get the most frustrating and cringe-filled parts of my life. If these stories were all my life was, well, I'd be pretty miserable. The truth is, these are a collection of frustrating moments in an otherwise very happy life. Dude, where's this coming from? What? What? I don't know who said what, who's believing otherwise, but yeah, I sort of presumed all of this. I love Beetle more than I can put into words. I love Wee One dearly, even if her teenage antics are driving me a bit mad, and I truly love my job. I hope that comes through despite all the cringe that I'm subjected to. Are you trying to prepare me for something? Is that what this is? I'm very confused. It feels like this came out of nowhere. Nothing is perfect, but on most days I feel like my life is just about perfect for me. I was gonna wait to post this one, but I have some time before autumn break starts, so I figured I'd get this one out. It'll be a while before the next part. Dude, you really are trying to prepare me for something right now, aren't you? I don't know what's happening. I too enjoy a pretty idyllic life. But yeah, I don't feel the need to specify that, like, hey guys, I'm not the man who I am in the videos. I don't know, man. I don't know what to think. That intro paragraph really did a number on me for some reason. But okay, we're just gonna move past it until it clicks and I go, oh, that's why she said all that. All right. So with that out of the way, I bring you a collection of tales. Some are cringeworthy, some are just disturbing. Hopefully all will entertain you. Disturbing could be fun. First story, worst client ever. Yeah, worst client ever. Inquired publicly about pricing through a YouTube video, never got back to me on it. Worst client. She's talking about me. Mascot design is something that I'm super proud of. It was a random idea I had while I was sitting at my desk last year, and to see it come to life is one of the proudest parts of my career. I have set up a website for it, along with a job request form for teachers and students to submit their requests to us. There are flyers all over the school with a QR code that goes directly to our request form. I'm painfully organized, which is why I compare it to running a small business while teaching, because, yeah, that's literally what it is. I was playing with image generators, like embedding QR codes into images. Like, that's pretty cool. You can make a flyer where it looks like a bunch of pretty flowers, but you can scan it with your phone. We definitely live it in the future, that's all I'm gonna say. I keep up the website, and the financial records, and the invoices, and the job assignments, and the kids all have jobs too, and they do them well. Yes, part of me telling you this is a not-so-humble brag, because this is truly the highlight of my career. The other part is so you'll understand my frustration with what is about to happen. Oh no, y'all making too much money over there. I'm gonna need to put my foot down on that. No, but I am glad that you're doing what you enjoy. I also understand that. Like, I love this part of my life. If it all ends now, I'm sure at age 80 I'll be talking about that time that I was 30 and a YouTuber for a few years. Them was the good old days. I was working for me, not at the combination McDonald's, Starbucks, Walmart. Because that's what every building will be in the future when I'm 80. Although, I guess the bright side of that scenario is me presuming I'll make it to 80. Jesus. Sorry, go ahead, OP. on this day, I sat down at my computer to start my day. I opened my email and saw that I had something from Englishbeard. It was a very long, drawn-out email requesting several designs. He wanted 2 logos, flyers, a promo slide for school news, and a t-shirt design. Okay, that's fine, we can do all of that. But his email was directly to me, unorganized as all get out, and hard to decipher, honestly. It's not even organization skills at this point, this is just life skills. I'm giving you instructions to do a job. Although sometimes I don't give the clearest instructions either. I sort of presume people can read my mind. Maybe Englishbeard's the same way. At least in this one sole aspect, because in every other aspect he's definitely a creep. If Englishbeard really thought that people could read his mind, then he'd think purer thoughts. Anyways, I didn't even understand exactly what Englishbeard was requesting at first. I promptly emailed him back. Englishbeard, we'd love to design for you. Please follow this link and submit a job request to Mascot Design. And he did. It took both Wee1 and I reading that request several times to fully understand what he was wanting. Before I could even decide how to break up the job, I had another email from him.
Abby, when does Mascot Design meet? I can come to your room and tell your class exactly what I'm wanting. Let me know what period, and I will be there. Englishbeard.
Is this still him angling in on the daughter? Doesn't really matter because this is crossing a professional line. I have a website so we don't have to do this. But OP just sighs and then replies, Englishbeard, that's not how this works. As I stated on the request form, I will assign your job to a student designer and they will contact you so we can provide the perfect design for your project. One of our student designers will be in touch soon. Thanks, OP. Please do not assign that job to me, Miss Emmy, Wee1 begged. I looked at her. Not a chance. Yeah, throwing your kids to the wolves, why not? I sat back in my chair and I pondered. I had 5 kids in Mascot Design. Wee1, Ellie, Maddie, Keith, and Anna. Who did I want to put in Englishbeard's path? Probably Keith. He's the boy.
Come on, baby boy, you got this.
I don't think Englishbeard's into boys none too much. It's probably gonna go great. I loved my kids. Did I really want to sacrifice any of them to that lecherous English lard? Not really, but I couldn't deny him service. He was a teacher on campus. I mean, you could deny him service, but then he's gonna run it up the chain of command and the whole design thing is gonna be under a lot more scrutiny. Could be more trouble than it's worth. So yeah, maybe just bend on this one. So finally, OP has reached a decision on which kid to sacrifice. Keith, Maddie, would you two take Mr. Englishbeard's job? It's got a lot of different elements, so you can partner on it. Keith, you can make first contact with the client and see exactly what he wants. Copy Maddie on the details, but Maddie, let Keith handle the contact, I said. Yeah, very subtle. I guess it is the move to make, you know? Maddie knows to herself that Englishbeard's a creep. It's sort of this unspoken truth, I guess. I figured it was safer to put a teenage boy into his vicinity than a teenage girl. I also knew that Keith and Maddie were besties. They reminded me of the way Beetle and I were at that age. Legit, just best friends. No romance, and that's a beautiful thing. I knew that Keith would protect Maddie. Well, that seems like the type of decision that just makes itself. At this point, I feel like we could lay it down 100% flat, you know? So just, you know, put a hand on Maddie's shoulder and be like, Mr. Englishbeard is a child. And if you... let Keith make contact. I insist. What happens if we turn our head for like half a second, he swoops you away to the janitor's closet we never see again? Listen to my words, Maddie. Look me in the eyes. This is getting really weird. She says, Mr. Englishbeard is so... Ugh. I never had him, but I had passing interactions with him, and I've heard stories, Maddie said. See, it is getting all laid out on everybody knows. OP says, I bit my lip and told her, well, you don't have to work directly with him. Keith is your go-between. Keith nodded.
I got this. My name's Keith. I got it.
Okay, awesome. So Graphic Design 2 starts their lesson. OP turns to the other side of the room because you see, I have both Graphic Design 2 as well as Graphic Design 3/Mascot Design at the same time. That happens a lot with career programs. We'll have multiple classes that we're teaching at the same time. I know it sounds confusing to someone not doing it, but I've adjusted and it's a pretty well-oiled machine. Most days, anyways. Yeah, it's fine. It's probably fine. The public education system, everybody. Keith sent the first contact email, and in minutes there was a knock on my door. I looked up and saw none other than the tubby one himself. I sighed, and paused my lecture on advanced typography to graphic design 2. I opened the door. Yes?
I just got an email from Keith. I would like to talk to him about my design,
Englishbeard said as he pushed past me into my cave. I frowned. I'm in the middle of a lesson.
This won't take long, Englishbeard said. Which one is Keith?
Keith raised his hand. Hi, Mr. Englishbeard. Oh, God. He's in here now. This was his plan the whole time. Englishbeard then waddled over to Keith's workstation. He noticed Wee One in the back of the room, working on screen printing some shirts.
Wee One, how come you're not my designer?
Wee One held up the shirt she had just heat pressed. I already have a huge job that I'm working on. Keith and Maddie are great designers, I said. Let Keith know what you're looking for and they'll make it happen. So Englishbeard then just started explaining to the entire class what it was that he wanted. Keith was taking notes the best he could. This went on for a couple of minutes. Finally, I was tired of delaying my class. While he was still talking, I turned back to graphic design 2. Yeah, if you let this go on, it's just going to keep going on. You don't have to address it directly. I probably would. But just bowling over the top of him, yeah, seems like a way to go too. As I said, typography is a vital element of any design, and I continued, don't worry, I'm not going to write out my whole typography lecture. I mean, I like to learn, it might be helpful. I've just been using Verdana Bold on every thumbnail. That's my typography lecture. This is the best one, always use it. I finished my lecture, and I let my Graphic 2 kids start their assignment. Englishbeard was still rambling on to Graphics 3. I sighed. So Keith, do you have a solid starting point? Keith nodded and gave me a pleading look. Okay, Englishbeard, then I think we have enough to go off of. Once Keith has some mock-ups to share, we'll be in touch. Thanks for stopping by, I said, as I started towards the door. Englishbeard looked at Keith.
Are you sure? I can give you more to work with.
Do you have a job here? Where the hell are your kids? Go! Go to the children and teach them! He's not gonna teach you. He's gonna make them read a book and sit down and watch Game Grumps. Even if it's good old classic Grumps, that's not gonna win no points with me.
You're supposed to be teaching them kids, Englishbeard.
Keith nods at Englishbeard and said, I'm pretty sure, Mr. Englishbeard, I got enough, and I'll get right to work. Once you see my mock-ups, we can meet again, if you really feel we need to. Englishbeard nodded.
Okay, I look forward to it. Bye, Wee One. I can't wait to see how those shirts turn out.
Wee One forced a smile and a nod as Englishbeard left the room. That was uncomfortable, Ellie said. He's so weird, Maddie sighed. And that is why I have Keith as his contact point, I said. Keith smiled smugly.
I got this.
I laughed. I know you do.
Yeah, he won't diddle me because I got a pork sword.
In the end, Keith and Maddie completed Englishbeard's job. after Keith made several visits to Englishbeard's classroom to keep him from coming back to the cave. Englishbeard was a difficult and demanding client, but we fulfilled the order and he was happy with the end product. I really hope that he's good with designs for a little while. Oh no, he's gonna lay awake late at night thinking of excuses to make himself come back. He wants to spend as much time on these designs as possible. Hold all of these children to a standard that he himself cannot possibly perceive of. Okay. Story number 2. Felix's Twisted World. Oh god. Oh no. Here we go. Little baby Elliot has entered the chat. So, once in a while, when I'm watching ReddX's videos, I see a behavior or some general mindset in the stories that he reads that just reminds me of someone I know in the most alarming way. This has happened with the Elliot Rogers saga. Yes, this is as terrifying as it sounds. Somebody might want to do something about that kid, you know?
Watch out for children. Jason, what does that mean? Oh, look, a kid right now. Don't worry, I saw the sign. Get out of the car.
Let me tell you the story of a student we'll call Felix. I'm sharing this one partly to get it off my chest and partly so that it's documented for posterity so that if someday Felix ends up on the news, I can tell you all, that guy, that's the Felix kid I warned you all about. And I'll be like, cool, does he have like a text-based manifesto that we can peruse? I'm sure all of my criticisms will be 100% constructive. Seems dark, but what can I say? Some people are thoughts and prayers people. I'm the type of guy that laughs until it don't hurt no more. I've known Felix since his freshman year. It was the first year that I was teaching ESL. I may have mentioned him in passing before, but I don't think that I did. I don't remember him. At first, his antics, while disturbing, were one-offs, and the pattern didn't seem to develop until a bit later on. Yes, that's how patterns work. Now, I have 2.5 years of behavior that I can put together, and I've never even had Felix in one of my classes. Well, thank God for that, honestly. I'd be scared to show up to work every day. Like, nah, I think I'm sick again. The last bit of information that you need before I tell you about Felix is that whenever I mention how he reminds me of Elliot, the first thing I'm always told is, report him! Well, it's not that easy. A lot of what he does are small things that seem harmless. I have my hunches and I see patterns, but I have nothing solid to report. I suspect that no one will, until it's too late. I can't exactly just report a kid for reminding me of an infamous incel. Yeah, I don't think that's gonna hold much water. Thought crime isn't a thing, at least not yet. Okay, so Felix. Felix is a sped kid. I'm not sure what exactly he qualifies for because I've never seen his IEP since he's never been one of my students. I do know whatever it is leads him to have very poor social skills. I first met Felix his freshman year because he was in Gabby's English 1 class, and I had ESL inclusion in there. It was during this time that I was in Gabby's class for half a period and Beards for the other half. Beetle was in Beards and then Gabby, so yeah, we just kind of switched places halfway through. Anyway, I would work with the ESL kids and Beetle would work with the sped kids. That meant that Beetle had a lot more direct interaction with Felix than I did, but I certainly wasn't spared some of his more unsavory antics. What could he have possibly done that was so bad? Did he bring his mattress to class? That's the problem. One day I was circulating the room while the students were working, and I noticed Felix in a corner. I walked towards him to see if he needed help, and realized as I approached that he was self-pleasuring right there in class, making up a batch of foul soup.
The only way to think clearly is to find a release.
What's wrong with you, man?
I turned and went next door to Beard's room and got Beetle. "You boys pulling a solo in class," I said. Beetle looked at me. "Wait, what?" I nodded. Beetle sighed. "Ugh, I'll go take care of it." Oh, so this isn't the first time. I mean, yeah, I guess not. We did learn what patterns are today. So Beetle went and told Felix to stop, and that he shouldn't do that when other people are around. Not long after that, Felix started taking to wanting to spend time in the study space, in the hall. We all just thought he wanted a quiet place to work, but one day when Beetle went to check on him, he saw that Felix was talking on the phone.
Felix, who are you talking to?
Beetle asked.
WCHT,
Felix replied.
The Christian radio station?
Beetle asked.
Felix nodded. I call them at this time every day to pray for people who haven't welcomed Christ into their life, like my classmates.
I don't think Elliot was at all religious. Felix is just here trying to extend the gift of everlasting life. I'd like to say he's sort of a hypocrite for playing pocket pool in class, which of course makes Jesus cry. You know that, don't you, Felix? But he's doing the best he can. He's striving for a better tomorrow by trying to make everybody think the way that he thinks. There you go. Beetle just sighs and says, okay, that's a nice gesture, Felix, but we don't do that at school. You're out here to work. And that put an end to Felix's on-air prayer sessions. Well, damn, dude, who's gonna call that radio station now? Nobody's out there. Nobody's listening. Except the FCC. Because if you say a bad word, they're all over it. A few weeks later, I saw Felix come into class really happy.
Good morning, Miss Abby,
Felix said happily. Good morning, Felix, I said.
Guess what?
Felix said. I was scared to ask, but I sighed. What, Felix?
I have a meeting with Mr. Principal this afternoon,
Felix said. I looked at him. As in, you scheduled a meeting with Mr. Principal? Felix nodded.
Yes. I have important business to discuss with him.
What sort of proposition could you possibly make, Felix? I am morbidly curious. I knew I was gonna regret asking, but I did. What important business?
We need to add confessionals to the library so students can go at lunch. Maybe even get rid of the library altogether. And just put in clergy,
Felix said. What? Okay, I'm gonna explain to you the separation of church and state.
Which is not the same as separation of church and skate. Oh yeah! I'm a cool youth pastor.
Wait, that voice sounds familiar. Let's take off the mask and see who it really is.
Party demon! You guys got me, whoa.
Two things ran through my mind at once. Was it party demon? First, thank the gods he said this to me and not Beetle. Beetle has Catholic trauma from growing up in Ireland. Old school Irish Catholic moms are a unique beast. And when referring to my mom-in-law, I do mean beast. And two, what the actual fuck? I honestly don't know. I don't have a good answer for that. All I know is that in a few short years, he'll be able to vote, and that terrifies me. Yes, this man's vote is equal to yours. Well, great. Fuck, what's even the point? OP says, Felix, you do realize we're a public school, and not every student would want that, I said.
They need it. It would make school better. Are you Catholic, Miss Abby?
Felix asked. Oh boy. Time for a really awkward conversation with a really weird kid. I paused. I never told kids about my faith. It's not professional and it's not their business. I certainly wasn't telling this kid that I was pagan. Instead, I said, that's irrelevant. Public schools open to students of all backgrounds.
We'll see. I think I can get Mr. Principal to see the importance of having confession for these students,
Felix said. I just nodded. I promptly texted Beetle, "Love, meet me in the hall before we switch places." And so halfway through class, he did. I explained the situation to Beetle. I just wanted you to know. Not a conversation that you need to be surprised by. Beetle sighed.
I appreciate it. I'll try to avoid that topic.
Of course, Felix didn't avoid the topic and told Beetle all about it. Beetle just nodded along and tried not to react. I mean, I'm not sure I'm seeing the Elliot comparison. Sure, he's a weird kid, you know, but at least he found a purpose outside of I need to have a girlfriend right now. He's focusing on his personal relationship with Jesus Christ. Whether or not you believe that is real is irrelevant because it's real to him. We all have different frames of reference, and as long as he's respectful about it, I don't know. I don't see that much of a problem. Playing the pocket pool in class, yeah, that's not good. So a couple of days later, Felix walked into class looking very distraught. "What's wrong, Felix?" I asked, immediately regretting my decision to engage.
"I scheduled another meeting with Mr. Principal," he said.
"Is that a good thing?" I asked.
"He rejected my proposal for a confessional. I have to make him see that we need this,"
Felix said. I mean, maybe he could go down a bad path. He's like, "Well, you guys didn't want a confessional because this school's full of demons." And then the bad thing happens. But I don't know, I think most people would never take that step. He feels defeated, he feels distraught. I'm not seeing like seething, boiling rage. It is probably actually fine this time. At this point, OP just tries to disengage and says, "Yeah, okay, good luck." Smooth move. Felix had several more meetings with Mr. Principal after this. Suffice to say that Standard High still does not have a confessional or a clergy on staff. Well, that's a shame. Think of the tax breaks, huh? Oh well, maybe next year. Times they are a-changin', you know. About mid-year, I walked into class and Gabby looked angry. "What's wrong, Gabby?" I asked. "You didn't hear what Felix did?" she asked. I rolled my eyes. Bloody hell, what now? Felix was at lunch the other day, hovering around the cheerleaders, as he does, and he started showing off adult images on his phone. Admin caught him while he was showing Margot Tanner. Margot got sent to the alternative school for 90 days, and Felix didn't even get detention because he sped, Gabby said.
"Oh, I thought Margot Tanner was the name of some young hot starlet."
Poor Margot Tanner. She didn't do nothing. They're high school kids. They're all looking at the naughty pictures in their leisure time. Suspend them all for 90 days. I guess that's what summer is. OP says, "Wait, he didn't get detention?" Gabby says, "Yeah, Margot was only looking, and she didn't even know what he was going to show her. She's a good kid." "Well, why was Felix showing off adult images at school anyway?" I exclaimed. Because Felix," Gabby replied. See, I think he's using the cover of Christ to either disguise or possibly abate his own depraved energy. All I can really say is that kid needs a lot more Jesus.
You need Jesus!
That'll fix it. So later on, OP's talking about this situation with Beetle. "So, sped kids can't get sent to the alternative school?" I asked. Beetle sighed.
"They can, but it's like a whole thing. It's a lot of paperwork. They probably decided it wasn't worth it to send him, even though that's exactly what that kid needs."
We later found out that he wanted to get the cheerleaders in trouble for not dating him. Ah, there's the Rogerism. Well, I guess he's not as dumb as he looked. He hatched a dastardly plan. He carried it out. That's already leagues ahead of Ellie. I don't think we need to worry. There was also one day that he was just being an all-around pain in the arse to all the other students. He was wandering around the room and just annoying them. And when they told him to stop, he'd get aggressive. He walked past Beetle, who was sitting down, and Beetle stopped him.
"Hey, Felix, mate, you okay?"
You seem like a bit agitated today, Beetle said. Felix turned and looked down at Beetle.
Do I need to bash your face in?
Beetle blinked. That was out of nowhere. Dude, chill. I was just seeing if you were okay. Felix was seething and looked like he was about to hit Beetle. Beetle stared him down and Felix turned and went on his way. And all of that was just freshman year. Yeah, okay, y'all really painting the picture. It's headed to some dark places. I didn't see the boiling rage until just now. And when you pair that boiling rage with like the bare minimum 0 communication skills, yes, I do worry about Felix just a bit more. Thankfully, his freshman year was the bulk of my interactions with him, but there were others. Sophomore year, he decided to crash or join the meeting of the club that Beetle runs on campus, which is our campus's chapter of No Place for Hate. Given the nature of the club, it wasn't like Beetle could exclude him. No Place for Hate? The ADL sponsored No Place for Hate? You know what? I'm not gonna touch that one. Felix was physically present, but he didn't seem to have much interest in participating. He got his phone and laid it on the floor in the back corner, playing games. Hey, y'all playing Warcraft Rumble? Join up in that ReddX Industries Guild. Thanks so much. Not Felix, though. You're not invited, Felix. I'm sorry. Very exclusive club. Very exclusive. weeone was the president of this ADL-sponsored club at the time and was trying to start the meeting. Felix, are you going to join us? She asked.
You're a girl. How could you be president of the club? Do you want me to run the meeting?
Felix asked. weeone shot him a look. No, I got it, but we're about to get started. Felix ignored her. Yeah, I think Felix is watching some really dark stuff on that phone in the wee hours of the morning. He is seeing images that no human eye should behold, to the point that he doesn't even see women as people anymore. OP's case grows stronger by the minute. weeone started the meeting and announced that they were getting ready to do their next project, which was writing messages of acceptance in sidewalk chalk in front of the school to create a mural of friendliness and welcoming. Here's the message I wrote. It says, "It's okay to be white." The ADL's like, no! This is fun. You guys are fun. It was an idea that Beetle and weeone had brainstormed, and we were both very excited about it.
Can I draw some stuff?
Felix asked. Oh, no, don't do it. weeone glared at him. Yes, Felix, it's for the entire club. You're part of the club, aren't you?
For now. I'm not sure. It depends when esports practice gets moved to.
He said. What esports do you play? Don't even ask. He's lying about it. He wants you to ask him, and I'm not going to. Even though I am a certified old man gamer, poor reflexes and everything, I will schmix this kid in some League or Dota. Or Warcraft Rumble. Esports practice, please. Okay, then, yeah, we're gonna do all this during our next meeting, weeone said. Fast forward to the next meeting, and weeone had her club members meet outside in front of the school. She had a big bucket of sidewalk chalk, and once everyone was there, they all started grabbing chalk and scattered to start drawing their pictures. Did anyone draw Goatse? Because that would be hilarious. It's always my secret weapon when we play games in the Discord. Hey, have you joined the Discord? You probably should. Sometimes we do like Cards Against Humanity, Jackbox game nights. Matter of fact, I think I'm gonna start one up after this video. Then we can all paint big Goatse butts together. weeone spent some time drawing before she got up to go and check on all the other members. She later told me that it was mostly to check on Felix because she didn't trust him, and she was right not to. She looked around at everyone's drawings. They were coming along nicely, and then she got to Felix. She stared in horror as she saw that he drew a giant cross with the words, "Christ will save you."
You raised me.
Oh, scheiße! Just start with yourself, Felix. That's all we could do, okay? Christ said it's not our place to judge. People will come into him in their own time. Maybe not in this lifetime, but we got eternity to do this thing. Wee One cries, Felix, no! This isn't a religious thing. It's supposed to be welcoming to everyone. Beetle heard Wee One shriek and ran over. What's wrong? Wee One pointed to the image upon the sidewalk. No, Felix. This isn't a religious club. We want to welcome all Standard High students, regardless of their beliefs. I wonder if we'd feel the same way if he drew like a Star of David. Or the crescent moon and star for Islam. Everybody'd be like, you have to erase it. And Felix would be like, I'm taking this to a fucking tribunal. Okay, actually fine. Just tell me these things actually represent moons and stars and we'll look the other way. Felix shouts and says, the school's full of sinners and heathens. I'm trying to save them. And then Felix storms off. This is lovely, Beetle said. It's okay, Dad. I got it, Wee One said, as she sat down with some chalk and drew some big hearts over the text on the cross. Once she finished, she wrote, everyone is welcome at Standard High. This is like some woke gang warfare right now. Like, cross this shit out, dude. He don't deserve to be there. Cross him out. Write your name over it. A few days later, I was at bus duty when Felix walked up to me.
Miss Abby, will you let Mr. Beetle and Wee One know that I can't be part of No Place for Hate anymore?
He asked. Sure, I said.
I really want...
Nobody asked. Felix, shut up. I'll let them know. Go away. But no, he wants to explain his reasoning.
I really want to. And I know this is a blow to the club. And especially Wee One. But esports is practicing. Same time as the meetings. Maybe you can move the meetings,
Felix asked. Don't care, didn't ask. You were there for 2 meetings. You're right, it is a deep blow, but it's not catastrophic, okay? Somehow we'll find the strength to carry on without you. I just said, it's okay, Felix. I'm sure Mr. Beetle will understand. Wee One told me later the next day that Felix had sought her out at school.
Wee One, did your mom tell you I had to quit the club?
Felix asked her. Yeah, she told me, Wee One said. What Wee One didn't tell him is that when I told her that he had quit, she shouted for joy.
I'm really sorry I had to do that to you. But hey, I was thinking, maybe you'd like to hang out after school one day,
Felix asked. Oh, that's what this whole thing was about the whole time, is it? Be careful, because once you reject him, he's gonna try and show you nude pictures. Not of himself, either. His religion has taught him to be deeply ashamed, and I think that's proper. But Wee One just says, no thanks, Felix. I have a boyfriend. At this point, she was dating a kid that we'll call Ethan. Ethan's a trans male, that is, he was born female but presents as male. This was her relationship before Wrestler.
You're dating Emily, right? She's not a boy,
Felix said, using Ethan's birth name. Wee One glared. His name is Ethan, and he prefers to be seen as a boy.
You need a real boy, Wee One. I have parts that Ethan doesn't,
Felix said. Jesus, dude. It's not gonna happen. Just pack it in, son. You can have your opinions, but I don't think you're changing anyone's mind here. Wee One wanted to kick him in his real boy parts at this point. I'm not interested, she said, and turned to walk away. Then Felix grabbed her arm.
Give me a chance.
Let go of me, or I will scream, Wee One said. Felix let go of her with a pushing motion.
Fine. You're not worthy of me anyway. I have cheerleaders that want me. your loss.
I mean, he's definitely putting himself out there a lot more than Elliot, but I do see the delusions of grandeur and everything else going on. I'm starting to think that somebody needs to take that kid out back and show him the rabbits.
Hey, he's my dog, I'll do it.
Yeah, whatever you say, Wee One said as she hurried away from Felix the Freak. When she was telling me this story, she added, what I wanted to say is, yeah, that's why most of the cheerleaders have a stay away from me agreement with you. For those that might be confused, a stay away agreement at Standard High is nothing more than really a powerless restraining order. It's basically a document that the APs have two kids sign promising to stay away from each other as much as possible. And Wee One was right. Most of the cheerleaders had asked for stay away agreements from Felix. The problem is that Felix had signed them all, but it was never enforced. So Felix didn't stay away from them. He constantly harassed them every chance he got, and nothing ever happened because he's sped, and doing any sort of alternate placement would mean paperwork. Damn, dude, admin really don't care for the safety of the kids at all. They're like, ugh, I gotta file 5 more papers. Whatever, just let him shoot the cheerleaders. Public education, everybody! For the record, I didn't witness the incident between him and Wee One, so I couldn't do anything, even though by this point I wanted to kill him for touching my kid. Yeah, that's a bold move from a little weirdo, I'll say that. That brings us to this year, his junior year. It was right after school, and Beetle and I were waiting for the lift. Beetle had injured himself playing hockey again, and the stairs were a no-go for him. As we were waiting for the lift, Felix wandered by.
Can I take the elevator?
He asked. No, it's for faculty members and students that are unable to use the stairs, I said.
I want to ride in it,
he said. No, I said as the doors opened. I stepped on so I could hold the door for Beetle. As Beetle was trying to get on, Felix pushed him out of the way and got on. Get off, Felix, I said.
No,
he said. Beetle stepped back. It was clear that he was not going to get on the lift. I was certainly not riding alone with Felix. I stepped off the lift and Felix waved as the door shut. Yeah, he really feels like he won a battle there.
Ooh, you got to use the secret elevator for 30 seconds. Wow!
He probably played pocket pool in there.
30 seconds of myself, gotta make some foul soup! Oh!
A few days later, I saw Felix while I was on duty after school in front of the library. Felix, what you did with the lift the other day was really rude and disrespectful. I didn't appreciate it, I said.
It was fine. Tell Wee One and Beetle, I'm sorry I can't join club this year. I have esports again,
Felix said. What? You can call it esports all you like, but it's just you sitting there playing Rainbow Six Siege for 18 hours. Let's just be honest, shall we? I looked at Felix and he walked away. And now we arrive at what happened yesterday, as of this writing. I was standing at my door, holding it open for students between 5th and 6th period. Wee One had just walked in, and I was asking her how she was feeling. She had a bit of a cold, and Felix happened up just then.
Miss Abby,
he said. I looked at him. He didn't say anything, so I finally said, Yes, Felix. What can I do for you?
Miss C said I should come and talk to you because I need a flyer,
he said. I immediately was sure that I knew where this was going, and I didn't like it at all. What sort of flyer?
One for church club,
he said. I don't remember exactly what it was that he called said church club. What is that? I asked.
An organization that helps bring students closer to Christ,
Felix said. I looked at Wee One, and Wee One's eyes were the size of bowling balls. I turned back to Felix. Is this an on-campus thing?
No. It's off campus.
Sorry, Felix. Mascot Design only does flyers for school-related organizations, I said. And this was I don't know, like 99% true. Generally, we don't do anything that isn't for on-campus use unless I determine that it has some sort of educational benefit to my students that warrants us taking it on. That is to say, I take off-campus projects on a case-by-case basis and reject almost all of them. Felix didn't need to know all of that. Oh, but come on, ReddX is the exception to the rule? Don't do that to the children, OP. They don't need to know what goes on here. So, you won't do it? Felix asked. Sorry. No, I replied. But, Felix stuttered in anger as he pushed. He pushed through the mob of students trying to get to class, and as he stumbled away, I heard him yelling. No specific words, just noises at the volume of yelling. Maybe he was yelling in tongues. I really don't know. Yeah, how can you do this to me? I'll get you next time. So that's the story of Felix so far, and I'm telling you, if this kid grows up to be another Elliot, I would be exactly 0% surprised. I mean, I definitely do see the similarities. Felix leans way more into the religious thing, which is what I really think bugs OP. But he's also with the manhandling of people and the playing pocket pool in class, and I don't know, there's definitely some crossed wires going on up in his brain. I don't think it's 100% what Elliot had, but he is liable to do something tragic. I wouldn't put that past him for a second. So, story number 3, I guess. Just move on from the possible school shooter. This is A Tale of 2 Days. It was the best of times. It was the worst of times. I see what you did there. That's a classic. I love Garfield, A Tale of Two Kitties. And actually, it was both of those things, in fact. Things were mostly going very well for me. Mascot design was going extremely well. I was so proud of my students. Their talent and professionalism was on par with any industry staff that I could ask for. They even managed difficult clients like pros, with some light guidance from their lovely teacher, of course. Yes, this is good. Sort of business environment. Get them prepared for what's really out there. Even Beard and I were getting along. He had agreed to help us film some commercials for mascot design to air on the school news. He and I actually started to work together a lot more. Not too much because of his professionalism, or lack thereof, and that wears me down pretty quick. Yeah, hey, Beard, how about you take a break, huh? Go catch a flick, you know? I think I got this one handled. One day I had an idea and decided to go find Beard and tell him. I went to look for him and he was not in his room. I finally found him in the school news studio with the lights off, sprawled in a chair, playing his Switch. What sort of games you got on there? Oh, there you are, I said. Yeah, I was just clearing my mind, Beard said, not pausing his game. Right. Okay. I had an idea. So every year the senior video is just a slideshow and it's lackluster at best. I was wondering if mascot design could work on the design and your class could just edit it together into a video, I said. Beard nodded while still playing his game. Absolutely. We hate doing the senior video. It makes more sense for graphic design to do it. We can do the video part. Sure. I nodded. Awesome. Thanks. I took work off his plate and he was pleased. I'm not even sure he was paying attention depending on what game he was playing, but yeah, okay. On the other hand, as good as things were, there were some bumps in the road. Life is sort of funny that way, isn't it? I was standing in front of my door, holding it open during the passing period. It was time for Animation 1. I greeted the kids as they came in. That is, until I saw Wee One walk in. She looked like she had lost her best friend. She was carrying a plastic bag I didn't recognize and was on the verge of tears. Whoa, Wee One, what's wrong? I asked. She stopped and turned around. You know how I gave Wrestler back her hoodies? I nodded. Yeah. Well, she didn't just give me back my hoodies. She gave me back every gift I ever gave her, Wee One said, her voice shaking. Bloody hell, that's just cruel, I said. I'm so sorry. Are you okay? No, But I'm gonna go talk to Ethan, Wee One said. Her ex-boyfriend was in the same animation class. They had ended their relationship as friends. Yeah, rough breakup's hard till you realize it's all a bunch of bullshit anyway. Hand me back the stuff I gave you. I'm gonna throw it in the trash while you watch. I don't want or need these things. That's why I gave them to you. Or some other spiteful thing that you say during a breakup. OP says, I just nodded and tried to snap back into teacher mode. But all I really wanted to do in that moment was be there for my child. Yeah, what are you gonna do? Kids fall down, scrape their knees, you know? I had no idea just how cruel Wrestler really was. I convinced Wee One to wait until we got home that night to go through the bag, and when we did, I was in shock. She had given Wee One every single gift, including a music box inside the packaging, in which Wee One had written a love note for her. She also included a blanket that Wee One had never seen before. She opened it up, and printed on the blanket was a giant picture of Wee One's deceased cat that she had loved so dearly. Seeing the blanket led Wee One to break down in hurt, confusion, and about 50 other random emotions, none of them good. Beetle and I pulled Wee One into a hug and let her cry it out. I wanted to hurt Wrestler. I don't know if she had the blanket to give her as a gift and never did that, or what, but the level of cruelty and springing all of that on her was more than I could really even understand. I mean, of course you can't understand. It wasn't your relationship. A Wrestler certainly feels a certain type of way about it as well. I understand that one of them is your progeny, but both of them probably have at least some sort of complaint about the other. That's why they're not together anymore. And as adults, you can just shrug your shoulders, move on, be like, all right, have a good life. But as young people, yeah, you want to hurt each other for no reason. Those were the days, wasn't they? It took several days and a few pints of ice cream, but Wee One finally started to heal. She threw her focus into mascot design and preparing for uni, and I did my best to keep her as busy as I could. Of course, what would this tale be without some beardiness, but we're about to get there. I do appreciate that. Teenage love story or heartbreak is not what tickles my fancy. So here's where our beard enters the story. Wee One and I were in my cave after school working on screen printing some shirts when there was a knock on my door. I don't like when someone knocks on my cave. I have learned that nothing good typically comes from it. I mean, it's a sight better than opening the door and walking in, isn't it? Can you just turn the lights off real quick, pretend nobody's home? I looked up and saw COVID Beard. Yeah, nope, nothing good. I went to the door and opened it. Hi, COVID Beard, what can I do for you? And I let her into my precious cave. Giggity goo.
Alright.
COVID Beard looked around my cave in awe.
This is a beautiful room. I love how you set it up.
Thanks, COVID Beard. But, what brings you in here today? I asked.
We need posters. Can you make posters?
COVID Beard asked. I pointed to Sassy, my large form printer. Sassy can do up to 36 inches wide and basically as long as you want.
We want some posters for the windows of all of English 1. So 4 times 5, so,
COVID Beard was clearly struggling. 20, I offered.
Right, 20 posters.
Like, I'm not trying to be mean. Like, are you dumb?
I think she's dumb. Do you think
She's dumb.
4 times 5. She's not a math teacher, but come on. How do you exist in the world? I mean, really, she doesn't. She's sick most days. I'm shocked to see her here. I thought I put the British Legbeard voice to bed for good.
Right, 20 posters. They need to have different parts of speech and sentence stems and grammar rules and stuff like that,
COVID Beard said. Okay, submit a request through our website and I will email you an official quote, I said. COVID Beard looked at me like I kicked her dog.
A quote? You charge?
I nodded. Sassy doesn't work for free. She needs supplies, and I don't have the budget to supply the entire school with endless printing. We don't charge much, but enough to cover supplies and fold a bit back into the program.
How much?
She asked. You really thought there's no such thing as a free lunch? You have a budget for these things, don't you? What an idiot. I grabbed my cost cheat sheet that I kept at my desk. Well, unofficially, 20 banners. Those would fall under the banner category. That's $5.50 per banner, so $110.
Oh, well, I'll have to talk to Pastor Beard and see if there's something we can do,
COVID Beard said. Of course. If and when you decide to move forward, just submit a request on the website, and we'll get it done. And OP, you really should have clarified, but like, only the website. We don't take orders face to face. You don't need to come back here at all. Ever.
I don't see why you can't just print them for me. You already have the supplies.
COVID Beard said. Here we go. The mask coming off. For now, I have supplies, but when we use them all, I need money to replace those supplies. I have a budget to follow too, COVID Beard. Right now, I have a grand total of $2.17 left for the entire school year, unless we bring in money through print jobs. I'm not sure what you know about running a print shop, but the ink we use is about $90 per cartridge, and this printer has 6 of them. It also has 3 print heads that are about $50 each, and it needs a roll of paper that's about $100 per package. So yeah, $2 isn't gonna keep Sassy running all year, I said. I mean, that is laid down quite flat. I really enjoy this direct talk. You want to see the numbers? Let's run the numbers. Does that make sense to you? She's like, what's 4 times 5?
Get out of my class. Don't show your face here again.
COVID Beard looked annoyed.
Can't you just do this one job for English? We don't have to tell anyone that you didn't charge us.
Oh yeah, a secret just between us girls. I don't fucking think so. Did you not hear what I said about the money for the supplies? OP just laughs. COVID Beard, I don't do freebies. I don't even print for Beetle unless he pays. The t-shirts he ordered, yeah, that was a $300 order.
You charge your husband?
She asked. Yes. Mascot design is a business, and to keep it running, we need money. We'll do digital designs for free, but anything that requires print, we have to charge. Now, if you want us to design your banners and have them printed elsewhere, we can do that free of charge, but I doubt that you'll find what you want any cheaper than what we're offering, I said. COVID Beard glared, turned around, and left my cave. I mean, that's one of the basic rules of business, right? We don't do nothing for free around here. You want me to do some voice lines? Guess you better subscribe on the Patreon. No, seriously, do it. I think the best way to show respect to what somebody else does is by paying them for their services. Otherwise, you're just a mooch. No, I'm stuttering everywhere. I have yet to actually receive any design request from COVID Beard. Yeah, $100, too rich for my blood. And there we have it. I feel this one was really quite meaty. I do have another tale I'm dying to share, but that'll wait for chapter 31. You really, really don't want to miss that one. Thanks to ReddX and ReddX Industries for the support. I think I've used all the words in the past installments to express my gratitude, so I'll simply say thank you. I hope you enjoyed hearing these anecdotes from my life. Remember to subscribe to ReddX and Emerald's Cave. Oh yeah, OP got a YouTube channel. Check it out. Until the next time. Bye, OP. Goodbye. English Beard being a creeper. Felix definitely turning into a little creeper. COVID Beard more of just an annoyance than anything else. But you ain't got to worry about it for that long, because eventually she'll call in sick. It seems like things at Beardschool are chugging right along, and I thank you guys for joining me for it. I mentioned the Patreon. There's YouTube channel memberships too. You can hit all the buttons down there, like, subscribe, whatever. I appreciate them things a whole lot. We also got an Amazon affiliate link to my microphone. Social medias, Teespring, whatever, you know the deal. On the end card, I'm going to link you to, why not, the Elliot Manifesto. That one's going to be wrapped up pretty soon. School of Beards has massively outlasted it, and I'm thankful for OP's dedication. So do click on through, enjoy that. I think you're going to like it. Always remember, friends, that you are loved, you are worthy, you definitely deserve it, and I shall see you in the next one. So until then, bye-bye. Go ahead, cut them open. It's gonna be fine. It's gonna be fine.
Where is